Hey friends, welcome to eSports, your go-to for all things football. From wild transfer rumors to behind-the-scenes drama, we've got it all covered. Now let's jump into the news. And today, we're going back to the beginning, before the trophies, before the glory. Before the world knew the name or Zinedine Zidane. We're telling the story of a boy with no money, no spotlight. Just one broken pair of shoes, and a dream bigger than the streets he walked on. Zinedine Zidane was born in 1972 in La Castellana, a rough, working-class neighborhood on the edge of Marseille, France. His parents were Algerian immigrants. They had 5 children. No luxuries, no vacations, just survival. Zidane grew up surrounded by poverty, crime, and tension. But he also grew up with something else: football. There was a small concrete square between the apartment blocks, no grass, no goals, no refs, just chaos. But to young Zizou, it was everything. That was his pitch, his escape, his school. There's a story his first coach used to tell, one that defines the soul of Zidane. One day, Zinedine showed up to training with shoes so worn out, they barely held together. The sole was flapping, the fabric torn, his socks visible. His coach, Jean Varad, looked at him and said, "Zinedine, why don't you throw those away?" Zidane looked him dead in the eye and said, "Because I still have dreams to chase." That answer stuck. It wasn't just about football, it was about fire, it was about belief. Coach Varad didn't say anything, he simply went out the next day and bought Zidane a new pair of boots. They weren't flashy, but they were clean, whole, and full of silent promise, and Zinedine, he never forgot. From there, the rise was relentless. At 14, he joined Cannes. At 17, he made his professional debut. By 24, he was the most elegant midfielder in Europe. But Zidane never forgot those streets or those shoes. In 1998, he gave France its first ever World Cup, scoring twice in the final against Brazil. In 2000, he won the Euros. In 2002, he scored that volley for Real Madrid, one of the greatest goals in Champions League history. Then, as a coach, he delivered an impossible feat: 3 consecutive UCL titles with Real Madrid. But through it all, the headlines, the Ballon d'Or, the fame, he stayed grounded. Because he knew where he came from, and what it cost to rise above it. Let's talk numbers and legacy. 125 career goals as a midfielder, 108 caps for France. World Cup winner 1998, Euro winner 2000, Champions League winner 2002. Ballon d'Or 1998, FIFA World Player of the Year 3x. UCL winning coach, 3 years in a row. But Zidane's true greatness, it wasn't just in the goals he scored. It was in the silence, the class, the calm storm behind his eyes. He didn't scream, he didn't dance. He just moved, like poetry in motion. Today, Zidane is retired from coaching. But he remains a symbol of elegance, of strength, of humble greatness. From the streets of Marseille to the lights of the Bernabeu. From torn shoes to golden boots. Zidane's journey isn't just a football story, it's a human story. So now we ask you, what's your Zidane moment? That volley, that headbutt, that look of calm before the storm. Tell us in the comments, we want to hear your story. Back to the dusty streets of Carrara, before the World Cup triumphs. Before the Champions League heartbreaks, before the world shouted his name. We're telling the story of a boy with gloves too big for his hands. A boy who didn't dream of scoring goals, but saving them. Gianluigi Buffon was born in 1978, in the marble town of Carrara, Italy. His family were athletes, champions, Olympians. Greatness ran in his blood, but Gigi chose a different path. Not the spotlight of a striker, not the glory of goals. He chose the shadows, the net. The place where one mistake costs everything. At just 17, he made his debut for Parma, and what a debut it was. Facing AC Milan, legends like Baggio and Weah in front of him. But Buffon, unshaken, save after save, he announced himself. Not with words, but with walls made of reflex. Then came Juventus. And with it, 2 decades of dominance, through scandals, through Serie B relegation, through heartbreaks in Europe. Buffon never left. He stood tall. He became more than a goalkeeper. He became a symbol, but football is cruel. In 2003, in 2015, in 2017, 3 Champions League finals, 3 defeats, and yet, not once did he hide. No blame, no excuses, only honor, because Buffon wasn't chasing trophies. He was chasing legacy. For Italy, he was a wall of destiny. 2006, World Cup Final, Berlin, Zidane, Henry, Trezeguet, he stopped them all. Penalty shootout, Italy out champions of the world. Buffon, Golden Gloves, a god in gloves. Let's talk numbers, and legacy. Over 1,100 career appearances. 176 caps for Italy. 10x Serie A titles, 1x World Cup, 3x UCL runner-up. Record for longest time, without conceding in Serie A 970 for minutes. One of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. But Buffon's greatness, it wasn't just in the saves. It was in the silence after them. Today, Buffon is retired, but his story remains a fortress. A reminder that loyalty is rare, that passion never fades. That true greatness doesn't shout. It stands, and waits, and saves, from Carrara's quiet streets to the world's biggest stages. From boy to legend, this is Gianluigi Buffon, the man who guarded football's soul. So now we ask you, what's your Buffon moment? That World Cup final, that fingertip save, that loyalty to Juventus? Drop it in the comments. Let's honor Il Capitano. And if this story moved you, like, comment, and subscribe to eSports, because legends don't fade with time. They just trade the pitch for immortality. Buffon didn't just protect the goal. He protected the game and gave us a masterclass in heart.